It's weirdly fitting that Skoda's Kodiaq should be named after a bear, because the Czech giant's been in hibernation throughout the global SUV boom. But it's awake now, and this seven-seater is the first in an onslaught of high-riding vehicles that will be launched over the next 4 years. But if this is the car that's going to enter one of Australia's most hotly contested segments, it's going to need more than the bare necessities to claw its way to the top of our marketplace. So does the Kodiaq have what it takes? Let's take a look.
The Kodiaq will hit Australia in July 2017, equipped with either a 2-litre petrol or a 2-litre diesel engine, both of which are paired with a 7-speed DSG automatic gearbox as standard. Australian cars are exclusively all-wheel drive too, and promise to arrive better equipped than their European counterparts, but also, predictably, more expensive too. While Skoda is yet to confirm local pricing, we're expecting the range to kick off in the early to mid $40,000 mark and climb from there.
Now, of those two engines, I've got to say I've taken more of a shine to the diesel, and that's because there's more usable power lower in the rev range, which is perfect for your city stuff. And that gives the car a certain rowdiness that the petrol doesn't have, and as a result, the whole thing feels just a little bit more engaged.
Skoda says one of its key aims was to squeeze as much interior space into the small for its segment Kodiaq as possible. And by and large they've succeeded, with the Kodiaq feeling airy in all but the cramped third row. Most impressive though is the crafty boot space. There's usable space with all 3 rows up, but drop the second row and that swells to 765 litres, which jumps again to a pretty impressive 2005 litres with both rows folded flat.
Now, we've only had the car for 2 hours or so, but a couple of things jump out at you straight away. The first is that from behind the wheel, it just doesn't feel like that big a car. It is a 7-seater, but it doesn't feel like you're steering a bus. Some of the streets here in Majorca are absolutely tiny, little alleyways through the old parts of town, and the car's done it all really easily and without too much bother. Now, that's made especially impressive because from inside the car, it's actually huge. There's a ton of space in here. Skoda's put a heap of work into making this car feel big pretty much wherever you're sitting. So there's heaps of room in the front, plenty of legroom in the second row of seats. Things do get a lot tighter in the third row of seats, but let's face it, they're mostly for children. And the boot space is terrific. In fact, Skoda says it's the best in class.
Not so much a traditional four-wheel drive as it is a kind of raised and stretched wagon. The Kodiaq looks every bit the mostly premium European. It's well proportioned and handsome, and it doesn't scream family hauler like some 7-seat models can. In fact, for us, the only view that takes some getting used to is the front-on angle, which looks vaguely out of proportion somehow. But apart from that, the Kodiaq looks pretty sharp.
A lot of work's gone into the interior too. If it's not super premium, it's pretty close. You're surrounded by all these soft touch materials. The seats in this top spec car are really nice leather. They're both heated and cooled. And there's an 8-inch touchscreen here in the center of the dash. Now, as I mentioned, we haven't spent too much time in the car, but so far I'm really impressed. Basically, it does everything you might expect a 7-seat car to do. It's comfy from behind the wheel, it glides over speed bumps. In fact, the only thing that really upsets it is unexpected road breaks and cracks in the road and things like that, which you can feel in the cabin. But otherwise, it's a comfortable, quiet, compliant cruiser. It's only first impressions, but there's a lot to like about Skoda's new Kodiaq. It's a big car, but it doesn't drive like one. There's plenty of space inside, and the Australian cars promise to be pretty well spec'd. Now, it is entering a very tough segment in Australia, but on what we've seen so far, it could give it a real shake-up. To read the full review, click here, and don't forget to subscribe to stay on top of all our latest videos.